Hello, fellow classmates. This is Andrew Mills again. I'm hoping and praying that you all are faring well during the coronavirus. Um, this week we are on Module 5. So far, I've gotten some great feedback on the previous videos I've made, and the comments have been very informative. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else you guys put out there on this week's topic. The discussion prompt that we're given to talk about this week was discussing the advantages of using the flight plan function as opposed to continuous direct-to navigation on the Garmin G1000. I figured that the best way to begin this discussion was to define each of these features. According to the Garmin G1000 Integrated Flight Deck Guide for Cessna, the Direct-to key allows the user to enter the destination waypoint and establish a direct course to the selected destination, specified by the identifier chosen from the active route or taken from the map pointer position. On the other hand, flight planning on the G1000 consists of building a flight plan by entering waypoints one at a time, adding waypoints along airways, and inserting departures, airways, arrivals, or approaches as needed. This flight planning can be accomplished on either the MFD or the PFD by selecting the FPL key. Now that I've defined each of these functions, I'll now discuss the advantages offered by the flight planning tool as opposed to using only continuous direct-to navigation. Direct-to navigation has a number of advantages of its own, as this allows you to fly the most direct path between your current location and a waypoint of your choice. It's a quick option that only requires you to select or highlight a waypoint and press the Direct-to key, followed by 2 enters. It's quick, it's convenient due to its simplicity. However, if your intention is to navigate via a series of waypoints, this can become quickly tedious and potentially distracting, which is definitely not something we want to happen when we should primarily be focused on flying the aircraft. Because of this, if I were to fly from point A to point B and my route required more than one waypoint in the middle, I would simply utilize the flight plan function. If I was performing a local practice flight and wanted to quickly return to my origin airport or a nav aid for some holding practice, I'd probably utilize the Direct-to option because it's quick and simple and gets me to where I want to be. Now, if I was performing a cross-country flight and or performing some practice instrument approaches, I would utilize the flight plan function. The reason being, the flight plan function on the G1000 allows a pilot to seamlessly navigate between waypoints while en route without touching any keys. The entire flight plan can be entered into the G1000 while safely on the ground, and once airborne, the G1000 will automatically sequence through each waypoint as you fly along. On top of that, you're able to have access to the information about your route of flight, like distances between waypoints, altitudes en route, ETAs, or even bearings to sequential waypoints. On top of this, the flight plan can be easily edited. I can easily insert an additional waypoint anywhere along my flight plan using the FMS knob, or I could delete any waypoint of my choosing by simply highlighting it, pressing the clear key, and confirming it by pressing enter. Yet another advantage of navigating using the flight plan function is the ability to save flight plans. Once you have a flight plan of your liking loaded into the G1000, you can store it by pushing the menu key, selecting the Store Flight Plan option, and then pressing enter again to store this particular flight plan in the flight plan catalog. While the flight plan function is definitely better suited to cross-country flights, Direct-to navigation can oftentimes be used in conjunction with the flight plan function. For example, if I was flying along my route of flight and air traffic control cleared me directly to a waypoint further along my route, I could simply open the flight plan page, scroll down to the waypoint that I was cleared to, and then hit the Direct-to key followed by 2 enters, which would allow me to bypass all the waypoints between my current location and the waypoint that I was cleared to fly to. The only other use I could think of for the direct to function would be to quickly navigate to a nearby airport in the event of an emergency. And once again, this could easily be utilized while a flight plan is currently loaded in the G1000. Well, that about covers why I think the flight plan function has a clear advantage over continuous direct-to navigation. To summarize, it's important to use the navigation tool best suited to your flight. I think if one were to fly from point A to point B, it's best to utilize the flight plan function by programming it on the ground prior to departure, so that navigation for your length of your flight is seamless and requires minimal input while you're flying the aircraft. And I think the direct-to form of navigation is better suited for a local practice flight, skipping ahead, like if you need to skip ahead to a waypoint along your flight plan or diverting to an airport for an emergency. So this concludes my presentation for this week's discussion. Looking forward to all of your input. Thank you for watching.